Storyteller is Ada Crawford, who has a story about a family hiking trip. My name is Eden. I used to just see food as, it's something that you eat when you're hungry. And we have a Kroger that's like 2 blocks down from where we live. So it was super easy just to run down there whenever we needed to. But on March 1st of 2018, I started a through hike of the Appalachian Trail with my family. Doing the trail had been my parents' dream since they got married 20 years ago. And at this point, there was 8 of us who we started the 2,190-mile hike from Mount Springer in Georgia to Mount Katahdin in Maine. We didn't really know what we were doing. We hadn't done something like this before. And at the time, the ages of my siblings ranged from 17 to 2. Over the first few weeks, we started to develop like a system, and everyone had a job. And my job was to make sure that every day we had lunch. The challenge for that was the calories. When you're out there, a thru hiker burns on average between 4,500 to 6,000 calories, which means that every meal is important. And because there were 8 of us, things were a little bit different. We would go through towns around like two or 3 times a week, and that gave us a chance to restock on food. And normally there would be like Walmarts, Publix's, Ingles, like all the above grocery stores, but sometimes there were only gas stations. So shopping for 4 lunches for 8 people from a tiny gas station was kind of a nightmare. Some normal through hiker foods were Nutella, tortillas, Snickers bars, which I kind of have trouble eating now. All sorts of like instant potatoes and oatmeal and stuff like that, which you get sick of pretty quickly. So I started to, over those couple months, I started to get better at my job and find out what worked and what wouldn't work. Some of the lunches we would have were peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and cheese and crackers and salami and stuff like that. But I started to get bored of what we were eating, so I tried to branch out. And when you have to pack a lunch that's non-perishable, fits in your backpack, doesn't weigh too much, and something that all 8 people will eat, it's kind of a challenge. I saw buying healthier foods and like packing healthier lunches as like it became like my own personal goal. And so I tried things like apples and carrots, and even though they're really heavy, it was still like gave me something to think about when you're hiking. There were some of the more memorable lunch moments on the trail were when we were hiking through the Smokies, and we were walking through waist-deep snow. There was a blizzard, and it was too cold to stop for lunch. We also happened to be short on food, so lunch that day was 5 Ritz crackers each and 3 slices of pepperoni. But there were also really really amazing memories of trail magic, which is when someone who's usually a stranger helps you out. I remember one time we were hiking through a town and two people had actually reached out to us at the same time. And they brought us lunch, and there was this long picnic table filled with food, and there was almost every kind of fruit and vegetable that I could think of, and burgers and hot dogs and desserts, and it was really amazing. Especially out there, you don't get stuff like that. As we got closer to the end of the trail, Mount Katahdin in Maine, keeping track of calories was becoming more and more difficult. My dad had lost 30 pounds in 3 weeks, and with so many people, it was hard to keep track, and we just kept on getting sick of foods, and we were under a lot of pressure by the end to finish. But we made it. Our last week, we found out that we would not be able to bring our youngest, Rainier, my brother, who's 2, or was 2 at the time, to the top of Mount Katahdin, which is where the sign is that thru hikers normally touch to end their hike. So we had to make a decision to either go on without him, leave him with friends at the bottom, or to end it to our 2,190-mile hike 2 miles short at tree line. We decided to end it the way we had started, which was together. So our last day, I couldn't really believe it was our last. We hiked to tree line and we celebrated with some friends and a hostel owner who we had met on our hike. We took some pictures and we walked back down. And the Appalachian Trail hike is still something that we talk about all the time and that I'm reminded of almost every day. It really changed the way that it impacted a lot of things in my life, and it changed the way that I saw food, because out there when you're trying to find things that don't need refrigeration, that don't need cooking, because when you're eating lunch you just want to keep on going. It made me see how much I took for granted, and it's really something that I'm really glad that I did, and I don't think I'll get the chance to do something exactly like that again.